Welcome to VFW Post 467 in Westminster, Maryland. And with me today are members of the Maryland Army National Guard, including members of the 29th MP Company who are stationed right here in Westminster. The reason we're here today is we thought it'd be a great idea to talk to some soldiers who are currently wearing a uniform and are active with the force just before Veterans Day. And we think it's firstly most important to thank everyone here today and the members of the Guard for their service. I think you don't hear that enough. We also wanted to mention today that the soldiers and officers that we're interviewing today are all from Carroll County, which we think is pretty cool, and that's why one of the other reasons we invited them here today. So we're going to start off. I'm going to ask, well, I'll have Sergeant Major, is it Bayard?
Yes, Bayard, yes.
If you could introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your experience. I know you've been in a long time.
I'm Sergeant Major Thomas Bayard. I've been in about 30 and a half years.
Wow.
And I'm what's called a traditional guardsman, meaning that I have a civilian job where I work for the city of Westminster. I've worked there since '87.
Okay.
And then I wear this military hat where I've actually served even longer. And my present position, I'm the Command Sergeant Major of the 29th Aviation Brigade, Combat Aviation Brigade. And we had just completed a deployment. We were deployed from 2011 to 2012. I've been home a month or so.
Okay, well, welcome home.
Thank you.
Can you give me some thoughts on what it means to you to be a member of the Guard?
Well, to me, what it means to me is that I feel like, and the soldiers around me, we protect the public, and we serve the public. And we always say there's people that enjoy freedom, and that's the citizens of this great country, and there's those that defend freedom, and I consider myself part of that class. So it's a very great feeling to know that when people say thanks, they really mean it, because these thousands of people are out there doing their job, if they're a guardsman on drill weekend, or if they're an active soldier, whatever it is they're doing. And that really means a lot to us. And that's probably why I serve. It's that really good feeling of service to the country and its citizens that means so much.
Great, thank you. If I asked you, I know in a 30-year career this might be a hard question to answer, but if you could pick out one incident or situation that would have been the most satisfying to you during your service, could you? I know that's not easy.
Well, this is going to sound probably trite, but you know, leadership sometimes is about one soldier at a time. Mm-hmm. And there was a young soldier that had, before he came in the Guard, had got himself all screwed up. And talking with that kid and bringing that kid along has turned him into one of the best soldiers you could ever serve with. I don't want to name names, but sometimes it's that one person in your career that you really touched, that's turned him around. Not that it's just me, but that kid has really turned into a great soldier. So that's a really good experience for me. There's many others I could go on and
Sure.
on and on, but that's really something that's important.
That's outstanding, and that's clearly something you'll remember for the rest of your life. Lastly, we're here talking to you and your folks about your experiences in service for Veterans Day. What would you say is important about Veterans Day? Well, how do you feel about it, or what is the importance of it to you?
Well, the importance of it to me is that Veterans Day recognizes all those soldiers and civilians who've served their country in its defense. And we come together that day. Nobody cares if you're a young soldier. Nobody cares if you're a retired soldier. On that day, we're all soldiers.
Right.
And the feeling you get, no matter where you go, is unbelievable. I usually go to the local Veterans Day ceremony at Winters Mill High School. Mm-hmm. And the only two I've missed are the two when I've been deployed. And it's this great feeling when I go there. These kids ask questions, but that day we're all in the same class, from the youngest soldier even to the cadet sometimes, up to the retired guy. And that's a really, really good feeling.
Excellent. Sergeant Major, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Sergeant Myers, welcome.
Thank you, sir.
we wanted to ask you about yourself. Introduce yourself and tell us a little bit and what you're doing with the Guard right now.
I'm Service Class Russell Myers. I've been with the Maryland Guard for 26 years, resident of Westminster.
Okay.
And currently I'm working for the Joint Forces Headquarters as a training specialist in management and also in the field of knowledge management at our operations section down at Camp Frederick in Reisterstown.
Oh, okay. Very good. First of all, I wanted to ask you what it means to you to be in the Guard and how you feel about it.
Well, I started in the Guard when I was 17.
Wow.
I joined the local unit here in Westminster. It was an artillery unit. And to me, it meant community involvement, community service. I was with the Westminster Junior Fire Department. A lot of the firemen there, you know, a handful of them were also members of the unit out at Hahn Road. Talked to them, got involved with them, and they led me to start my journey in the Maryland National Guard that's lasted for as long as it has.
Excellent. What would you say, I realize 26 years is a long time, what would you say if you had to pick out one experience that would be the most satisfying for you?
Well, I would definitely have to agree with Sergeant Major Baird that probably the best things about our service is that as leaders, being a platoon sergeant, you get to know your men, you get to help them along in life as well as being a soldier. I actually had a situation where being familiar with the American Legion and veterans programs in the state helped a member of my unit recover from a substance abuse issue. He retired and then realized that he had a severe substance abuse problem. Being able to help that soldier get, or veteran get, the assistance he needed from the local agencies in Baltimore really helped me feel like I was helping the community and the Guard as a whole. And when you get that feeling of being a brother and helping somebody out, that's probably one of the best feelings we ever have.
Right. Now, you have been deployed.
Yes.
Can you just tell us a little bit about that?
I just returned in July from a deployment to Afghanistan.
Okay.
I was in Kabul. I was part of the security detail, the driver for now Major General Whittington, who was the 29th Infantry Division commander.
Right.
And served on his security detail and took care of the unit as far as all their administrative actions and taking care of the little things that while they were off doing their mission.
Right. Okay. And I guess that segues into my last question. What do you think is the importance of Veterans Day, or what does it mean to you individually?
The importance of Veterans Day is to do what we do every day when it comes to veterans, and that is put them at the forefront of our nation. Numerous times throughout my times walking, going to the people stop you, thank you, and it just takes and sets aside one day where we all stop and do those things. And in 2011, I was the district commander for the American Legion in Western Maryland, and traveled through the three counties, Frederick, Washington, and Carroll County. The number of veterans you meet and the stories that they have are remarkable, and it's truly a brotherhood, and it's truly not only the veterans helping, but the families, everyone involved, children, and veterans not only served our country at a time of great need and throughout history, but they're also still serving in so many ways. And to recognize that is the reason we have Veterans Day.
Absolutely. I want to thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome home.
Thank you.
And thank you for your service.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Welcome. Is it, how do you pronounce your name? Eads?
Yes, that's correct.
Specialist Eads?
Yes.
First of all, thank you for your service.
Thank you for your support.
I'd like to ask you about yourself. Introduce yourself to us and tell us a little about you.
Okay. I'm Specialist Eads. I'm a member of the 29th Military Police Company stationed here in Westminster. I've been a part of the MPs since 2005 when I joined the Guard. I've got a total of just under 9 years in the military. I've been to Iraq once with the old 29th MP Company after we were reassigned as a platoon out in Hagerstown. Since we've come back as a company, I continued with the unit, and we've done numerous community efforts as far as canned food drives for the homeless shelter and participated in the Memorial Day Parade twice. And we've had fun doing it. I've had a lot of fun being a part of the military as well as a part of the community.
Okay. Just to take that one step further, tell me how you feel about being a member of the Guard and what it means to you.
Being a member of the Guard is, just like it says, being a citizen soldier. You stand up, you serve the community, you serve the country when called up for duty, and you have an opportunity to make a difference and show that there are other ways to lead your life as opposed to being, like, I've grown up in the city all my life, and I've seen the way the community and how residents of the city view the military, and I've heard opinions of it, and until they actually see it or someone from the community shows a positive image to it, they're kind of stuck in their ways. So helping the community is a big step, is a big part of it. Actually going to middle schools and high schools, making the parents, showing the youth that, hey, you can come out, you can help us, you can join the military, you can be a member of your community, as well as protect and defend your community as well as your nation, instead of just being an average citizen. You can actually stand up for a good cause and be supportive of the
Step
people
to the plate.
Exactly.
Yeah, outstanding. I asked some of the previous folks this question, and sometimes it's not easy to answer, but if you had to pick out one experience that you've had during your service time that you found that's the most satisfying, what would it be?
The most satisfying was when back in 2005, I went down and assisted the Louisiana National Guard right after Hurricane Katrina.
Oh, okay.
I went down for the first time for 2 weeks, and then I continued and did an additional 2 weeks down there where I made an even bigger impact on the community. The community itself was grateful that we were there to help them and help them get back to the life that they had before Katrina. It made a big impact on myself as well as the community. Several members of the community were so grateful they came and where we were actually sleeping at and cooked out for us and brought home cooked meal for us.
Oh, that must have been great.
It was awesome.
I'm envious. Last question. What do you think is the importance of Veterans Day, or what does it mean to you as an individual?
To me, Veterans Day is a time to remember those that have served before, those that put on the uniform and gave the ultimate sacrifice, those that aren't coming home, and those who have come home and are having difficulties coping with the stress of wars, as well as returning back to everyday life and integrating themselves into the life before war. So it's a time for me to reflect and appreciate and show support for those who do the same thing that I've done.
Very good. Welcome home.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming today.
Thank you.
Welcome, Staff Sergeant Burke.
How you doing?
I'd like to have you introduce yourself and tell us a little about yourself. And I know you're Air National Guard here in Maryland, so fill us in.
My name's Staff Sergeant Scott Burke.
Yep.
I joined the Guard just over 6 years ago, pretty much right out of high school. I took 1 year off and been doing it ever since. I'm a full-time technician,
Okay.
so I do my weekends and my 2 weeks, but I'm also there every day.
And where are you stationed at? Or
In
where
Middle
is you?
River
Okay.
at the Warfield Air National Guard Base.
Is there a air operation there?
Yes.
Or- there is. Oh, okay.
We have A-10s, A-10 Warthogs.
Yep.
We
Know
have
them well.
We have the new C-27s as
Okay.
well.
Yep. The A-10 goes back a long way. I remember him very
It's
well.
been around for a while.
Yeah, I even had him. I think they had him in Vietnam, actually.
I believe so.
Yep.
78 was the first.
Oh, 78, so Vietnam was over by then, but yeah. What are your thoughts on being in the Guard? What does it mean to you, or explain to us how you feel about it?
To me, the best part is just working with all the people that I get to work with. We get so many different kinds of people. You know, we have people that were former active duty, now they're working in the Guard. And I like my job as it is, but mainly it's just the people, all the camaraderie. You know, I spend more time with those guys than I do with most of my friends that aren't in the military, so
Right.
you build a special bond.
Now, you were deployed.
Yes.
Can you tell us about that just a little bit?
I was deployed to Afghanistan. I just got back July. It was a 3-month deployment,
Okay.
and we go over there and you know, we fly our jets. Myself and all my coworkers, we maintain them, and we pretty much just get stuff done and come home. I mean, it's an adventure, but
You're where the rubber meets the road.
yes.
That's right. You know, I've asked some of the other folks this question. During your service, if you had to pick one experience that's the most satisfying to you, what would you tell me?
I don't know if I can really narrow it down to one experience. It's I've been deployed twice,
Okay.
and there's little things that you realize why you chose to do this job, why you chose to join the Guard, why you chose to be in the military, and you really have to put all those little things together to figure out what it means to you. There's not one specific scenario that set the bar for me. There's regular days back here working in Middle River that I find out why I like working with all the people and why I like doing what I do.
Outstanding. And by the way, I want to say welcome home. That's
Thank
an
you.
old Vietnam thing, but welcome home.
Thank you.
We're about to celebrate Veterans Day. You're here today because of Veterans Day. Tell me what you think, why it's important, or what it means to you.
Well, I think it gives people a chance to kind of look back and see what we've done. We have a lot of support, with the war in Afghanistan. People are always grateful, whether they agree or not. They're grateful of your service and they like what you're doing, but it gives us a chance to look back at some of the guys that maybe didn't have a choice, that were drafted, but they still did what they needed to do, and they got the job done. And some didn't make it home, but they knew what they were getting into. So that's what it is to me. I don't really get into all the pomp and circumstance, but I like to just think about everybody that did their thing.
Okay. Outstanding. Well, Sergeant Burke, we appreciate you coming today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Colonel Kohler, I appreciate you coming today. And I also wanted to thank you for helping to put this all together. I know it was a little bit of a task to find people at short notice. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself? I know you're a Hampstead resident, so...
Well, I've been in the Maryland National Guard for about 27 years now,
Okay.
and it's been a great opportunity. I'm the full-time public affairs officer for the Guard, so I work for them full-time. But I've only done that for like the last 10 years. Prior to that, I worked in the sales field.
Okay. I wanted to ask you some questions about the Guard specifically today. I'm not sure that everybody at home quite understands the role the Guard plays. It's sort of a dual kind of role. Can you kind of explain to us how the Guard operates and what their missions are?
Sure. We typically say that we call ourselves citizen soldiers. During the week, most of us, about 80% of the soldiers in the Maryland National Guard, have full-time regular jobs where they work 9 to 5.
Right.
And then 1 weekend a month and 2 weeks in the summer, they have to perform their military duty. The duty that they do is a wide variety. We have, just like in Maryland, we're almost like a small little army. We have, and a little Air Force, we have A-10s and C-27s, but we also have almost every military career in the Army we have available in the Maryland National Guard.
Right. And the Guard is subject to call-up by both the state in the federal government. So you can get called up for disasters and that sort of thing.
Correct.
As well as to support the federal mission, i.e. overseas. And I know that everybody here has been deployed. I know you were deployed yourself. And so do you find that you get people from active duty and that sort of thing who will come out, they'll ETS and want to stay associated and come to the Guard, or does that happen frequently?
It does. It does. It happens quite frequently. We have people that, in the Guard, you're able to continue to serve in your community. On active duty, people have to be moved around. They have to go to where the Army needs them or the Air Force needs them, so they may be required to move. But in the Guard, we're really a community-based organization, and once people get out of the military, they may want to continue that service. They don't want to move around. They have a full-time job, so they're able to continue to serve in the Guard and stay at home.
And you can retire from the Guard. The Guard does have a retirement program, so a person could ultimately get a retirement from the Guard, correct?
Oh yes, you can. I mean, it's a wonderful part-time job that you can actually have and get a retirement. Most people, it's based on the number of points, number of drills that you do, a number of active duty days that you do while you're serving. They continue to pile up over the years, and you do get a percentage of your base pay. Once you retire at the age 60, you can start withdrawing or getting that retirement.
Right. And there's also other incentives as educational programs and things to assist people with going to college and that sort of thing as well, right?
Oh, there's tremendous benefits right now. Just being in the Guard, you get a discount on your education on many of the colleges that you'd like to apply to. Plus they have now the post 9/11 GI Bill, which is actually gives you money to attend college, and also you get additional discounts off of the tuition. And there's a lot of different variations. There's also money that's available for the Guard for you to continue your education. So there's a lot of different programs out there now.
Yeah, it would seem to me people would be breaking down the door to get in. I would like to ask you though, and I want to go back on script here a little bit, and ask you, your 26 years, correct?
27, yes.
27 years. If you had to pick one experience during that time that you feel would be the most satisfying to you, I know that's a hard question sometimes, but is there anything that sticks out to you?
Yeah, 2 years ago we had the Snowmageddon. Do you remember when we got called up for active duty? The governor mobilized.
The big
us.
snowstorm?
The big snowstorm.
I was in Arizona at the time, so
well, that's what we refer to it in Maryland as Snowmageddon.
Okay.
We had back-to-back snowstorms where we had about 24 inches of snow over, 24 inches of snow over a 12-hour period, and then about 12 hours later we had another 24 inches.
That's right. Yeah, I do remember that.
So there was a tremendous amount of snow on the ground, but we got called up and we were activated. And between the snowstorms, we got dispatched. I was, helping out. We were driving in some of the roads in Maryland, and we came across vehicles. We started seeing vehicles that were abandoned in the snow. And I basically told our guys, hey, we have to check these cars. We don't know how long these people have been out here. They may have been out here all night. Well, we went through the city. I mean, it was like a ghost town. There were literally cars abandoned all throughout the city. And we came across this one car where there was an individual that was in the car who was really cold. He was shivering, who wasn't properly dressed to be out in the elements like that. His car had been stuck. Then actually plows had plowed around his car. They could see where the plows had plowed him in, basically. And he was a diabetic, and he was basically going into diabetic shock. And we were able to get him out of his vehicle and get him some of the treatment that he needed. That was one of the most satisfying things, because I felt like I was here at home helping Marylanders in my own community. And it was really a very rewarding experience. I mean, I feel like, we may have saved his life.
You probably very well did save a guy. Yep, absolutely. Well, the last thing I wanted to ask you, the same question I asked the other gentleman, was with Veterans Day coming, how do you view Veterans Day? What does it mean to you as an individual?
Well, it's actually my definition or feelings towards Veterans Day has changed since I deployed myself. I always think that Veterans Day has always been a day to honor our veterans and to appreciate what they've done and their sacrifice for us. Being a veteran now myself, that since I deployed, I never felt quite like a veteran until I did, deploy to Afghanistan and have returned. You know, I feel a sort of a kinship now to other veterans. I feel a part of you know, something greater than myself. And to me, it is really just a way to thank those that have gone before us and that have, some of them have not returned, but many of them still continue to serve in the communities today, and we meet them. And you may not recognize them, you may not see any physical scars on them, but many of them have suffered quite a bit for our country and have given a lot. And for me, that is really a way for us and for the country to show appreciation to those veterans.
Outstanding. I couldn't put it any better myself. Colonel, I want to thank you for being here today. I want to welcome you home. And I want to take this opportunity to thank the Maryland National Guard as well as Post 467 VFW here in Westminster for hosting the session. Thank you.
Thank you.